Hello everybody, and welcome to my Mythic Gnarlroot boss guide. So for this one, I'll just go through the differences between Mythic and Heroic. I won't go through all of the Heroic mechanics, as I'm sure you've already done that and you know them. So we ran 2 tanks, 4 healers, and 14 DPS. I think that's a pretty standard comp to run. And the main difference here is you have a new ad that has some abilities that you need to deal with, and everything just hits a bit harder. So I'll go through the ad and how it impacts everything else. I would say that you want to spawn the ad anytime you can. So you can see here where the tree ads have spawned, and basically you want to try and get the patches on top of them to spawn them, just like in Heroic. I would say every time you get this debuff, you want to spawn every tree possible, because they really hurt going into the intermission. So you'll see here, we spawned both trees, and that's really good. Then it's just a case of rounding them all up, dealing with the mechanics, which I'll go through later, and nuking them down. The lashes do shred your armor, so stuns is really, really good here. You can see in this instance, we actually missed the tree up the top that we should have freed, and this snowballs to make it a little bit harder for us. One thing to mention is that these circles do a lot more pulsing damage on Mythic. You can see here I've frozen it. Just don't overlap them and make sure you get out as quick as possible. We were hoping that we'd free that last tree on the top, but we didn't. So what happens is we go into the transition, and we have to deal with the tree while we're all getting split up and all of its mechanics. While we've only got one healer on the side of the tank, so it makes it quite difficult basically. So you really want to make sure that you deal with all these trees when you get the circles out and not when they spawn when the ad moves into the transition. So just looking at the transition on Mythic, you can see that there's a few more branches that you need to clear, so it's a little bit harder in that respect. Everything does a little bit more damage, and if you do what we did, you have to deal with the tree mechanics during this as well. So the most important thing is just to have a good spread of players that can do all sorts of different things in each section. Make sure you're freeing the roots as quick as possible, but make sure you're not missing any of the circles. He transitions a bit slowly, so as you're freeing the last root, he'll just keep spawning charcoal. So it's really important that you don't miss these last bits of charcoal, as you can see here, and you make sure you get them done so you don't just nuke the raid at the end. So going through the tree mechanics, he has an interruptible cast and a non-interruptible cast. I'll show you the non-interruptible cast. So you can see it's just a circle, just move out, nice and easy. You can see our melee player just standing, not hitting anything, just waiting for it to drop off. And then you have the interruptible cast, so you can see here we have an interrupt assignment that will basically show who has to interrupt it on which ad, and they just follow through with that. If you don't interrupt it, 5 people get disoriented, so really make sure you do it. Just one last thing to mention, once you've done 2 intermissions, maybe one if your DPS is really good, put your big circles that free the ads just away from the ads. You don't need to free any more ads because you'll kill it before the intermission, so you can just put your circles out, don't spawn any, and all good. As always, a special thanks to the people that helped me make it. Leave a like, subscribe, and be on to Agara next. Thanks, bye.